Hello and welcome back. My name is Rebecca. I'm with the AI Burden Center, where our mission is to help people recover from and prepare for workplace disruption. In module one of this series, we talked about creating a inventory list, an inventory of skills. You have your skills that your employer pays you for, and then you have your actual skills, which can be very different. So, the exercise, hopefully, you guys completed it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to module one. Hopefully, you guys completed that list and you have started to see that there is an actual separation of what your employer pays you for versus what you know how to do. And once you have that separation and you kind of fractured that language barrier between job description and skill set, now you need to look at what the market will actually need from you. You may have skills, but just because you have that list created doesn't mean that the market's going to pay you for some of those things. I mean, I know some guys that they're really, really talented at putting together Lego sets. Is there a market for it? Yeah, there's probably one out there, but it's going to be a very small market. However, if you would know how to make the best chocolate chip cookies in the world, there is a huge market for chocolate chip cookies. Just ask Chips Ahoy. They know this very well. So, once you have separated out your skill set from your job description, the next question to ask is, what's your problem? Nah, those are not fighting words. That's actually a litmus test. And this is where you start to look at the market a little bit differently. A lot of people stall out a little bit right here. Once they have that skill list made, they'll look at that and think, will people actually pay me for those things? And that's a question you have to answer. And this is where we go from known skill set to marketplace. The moment that your skills meet somebody in the marketplace who has a problem and your skill can fulfill or overcome that problem, and you bring those together, that's when you find where you fit into a market. It's just a connection point. And people around you who know your skill sets can probably help you make those connections if this is an area you struggle in. But I think something that needs to be addressed here is a common theme of fear, a common theme of doubt. And this is part of you taking back ownership of your thoughts. That is the one thing you control above everything else that goes on in this crazy world around you is you get to choose how you think about something. So if you are looking at that skills list and you're thinking nobody wants these skills or I don't know if these are actually sellable, I'm going to tell you to capture that thought and we're going to break that down together because odds are you're wrong. There is a market for what you know how to do. So let's walk through this together. All right. So, our litmus test. If one person has the problem, odds are many people have that problem. And that's a good sign for you. It means that there's a lot of people who need what you know how to do. A transaction is just waiting to occur. If you can identify that someone has a problem, a group of people probably have that problem. And all they are waiting on is for you to appear and say, I have a solution to your problem. That transaction of your skill set and their wallets opening so that they can cross paths is waiting on you to take action. And that's going to be a lot of what we talk about in this. Your employer will come to you and say, I need this, this, and this done. Or your employer will say, you put in all 40 of your hours this week, so you will get paid for all 40 hours. In this scenario where we talk about creating an income outside of your 9 to 5, you are going to have to be a lot more proactive than you're used to being. The dynamic here shifts quite a bit. And this is sometimes a big jump from being assigned work to going and finding the work. And it's not hard, it just makes us feel a little uneasy and a little uncomfortable about what we're taking on. But hey, that's where growth happens. That's where things start to change. So if you have a skill set and you find the people who need what you know how to do, you are going to have to move in their direction. Here's another fact you need to consider when you look at the market and the people that need what you know how to do. The person who has the problem is carrying around a calculator in their mind all the time about what their problem is costing them. What is it costing them to delay organizing their house? Or what is it costing them not to move forward with a career transition? Or what is it costing them to carry around some extra weight? No matter what it is in the market that you are looking to solve, there is a customer, a potential client who is carrying around the calculation of what it is costing them to continue to carry that problem with them. So if you know that and you keep that in the back of your mind, you, as the person with the skill set, can begin to build a cost structure around your skill set. If they are calculating how much it costs them to continue carrying the problem, you need to be calculating how much value you are actually bringing to the market. All right. So far in this video, we have talked about yes, we have an inventory list of all of our skills. Yes, there is more than likely a market out there for us to take our skills to. And once the problem that is out there with our potential clients and our skill set come together, now we have the opportunity to have a transaction. And this is one of the beautiful things about living in a free market here in the United States. If you're watching from the US, our Constitution allows us to make choices like this. We are not restricted or confined into only an employer employee dynamic. Our skills are something that we can bring to the free market and charge a fair rate, a fair price for the skills that we can offer someone. This is a mindset move. Going back to when we talked in module number 1 about our language barrier, we have learned to talk like an employee. We have also learned to think like an employee. And when you start to build something outside of your 9 to 5, you're going to have to start thinking like a business owner. And no one's ever really taught us how to do that. So as we move through this, just know yes, it is going to be a financial move, but it is also going to be a mindset shift that has to take place. And most people, they hand their skills over to the employer and they don't think twice about it. Our employer captures the value first, and what we come home with is just what we come home with at the end of 2 weeks. That's okay. And it's a good place to have some stability and some level of security until that's disrupted by whatever mechanism it's disrupted by. But in the meantime, the reason that you would want to go out and create another source of income is in preparation for that security being yanked out from underneath you, which many people are experiencing right now. But it is also a place where you can grow into the potential you have to become and do more than what your job has designated you to do, or the assignment that it's given you, or the label that has been put on you by your employer. This is a breakout moment. So just know that's going to require some force, that's going to require some effort to get out of the language and the dynamic that we are used to having. And that's totally okay. It's totally normal. I just would recommend you do it in some sort of community. You try not to do this all on your own or in secret. You're going to need people that have your back and know that you are trying to make this move. But here's your exercise. I want you to take 3 skills that you wrote down from exercise 1 in module 1. Identify 3 of those. And for each one of those skills, I want you to write who has the problem that this skill solves. Let me say it again. For each one of those skills that you wrote down that you have, I want you to figure out who has the problem that this skill solves. The next question I want you to figure out is what does it cost them to keep living with that problem? This is going to matter when we jump into developing our offer, but for right now, what does it cost them to keep living with the problem? And lastly, who is already paying someone to solve their problem? Those people are also your market. If they have already taken the step to open their wallet, to pay someone to help them relieve a problem that they have, that means that there is a market for what you also know how to do. So take some time with those three questions. If you can't name who has the problem, the skill can't become an offer. So this is kind of foundational. Start with the skills inventory, answer these questions that I've just laid out for you. Because once you can name who has the problem and that your skills could potentially solve for that problem, now we can move into module three where we talk about developing an offer. My name's Rebecca. Again, I'm with the AI Burn Center, where our mission is to help people prepare for and recover from workplace disruption, and one of the best ways we can do that is to prepare you to create an income outside of your 9 to 5 should your 9 to 5 disappear. I'll see you next time.